Shri Ganeshaya Namaha, Shri Saraswatye Namaha, Shri Satgurubhyo Namaha. Samasta Janakalyane Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Satgurum Brahmavidvaram Manojavam Marudhatulya Vegam Jitendriyam Buddhimatam Varishtam Vatatmajam Vanarayuta Mukhyam Sri Ramadutam Sirasa Namami. Santoshini Jaganmata Mama Saubhagya Vriddhaye Namaskaromi Bhaktya Tvam Prasanna Varada Bhava. Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutrabhashya Kritau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punaha. Om Namah Pranavarthaya Shuddha Jnanaigamurtaye Nirmalaya Prashandaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha. Satchitananda Rupaya Vishwotpattyadi Tapatraya Vinashaya Shri Krishnaya Vayam Namaha. Nilambujasyamala Komalangam Sita Samaropita Vamabhagam Panau Mahasayaka Charu Chapam Namami Ramam Raghuvamsanatham. Today we'll begin our study of Srimad Narayaniyam. Narayaniyam was composed by Meppattooru Narayana Bhattathiri. Narayana Bhattathiri was his name. Narayana was his name. And he happened to compose this sitting in front of Lord Guruvayur. So two things I had to give you the introduction because some of you may not have known or heard about Guruvayur temple. This temple is in Kerala. It is a Krishna temple. And the Aidhihyam is that this idol that is installed in Guruvayur was given to Brahmaji by Lord Vishnu himself. And it was handed over to Sutapas and Prishni. They were the first Manus and they did a lot of tapas to Bhagavan Vishnu. As a result, Vishnu Bhagavan appeared before them and they requested a son like Bhagavan. Bhagavan said, there is nobody like me, so I will come myself. It is said that if somebody asks you something, if you cannot give that, then whatever you can give, you should give 3 times. So Bhagavan said, since what you ask I cannot give you, so what I give you, I will make it 3. So Prishni and Sutapas, they got a son, that is Bhagavan, Prishni Garbha. And this idol was handed over to him, and he worshipped that idol. Then they took birth again as Kashyapa Prajapati and Atiti. And for them, Vamana Avatara, Vamana Bhagavan was born as the second avatara for them. They also got this idol, and they also worshipped Kashyapa Prajapati, they also worshipped this idol. And the next birth was Devaki and Vasudeva, Lord Krishna himself. And again, this idol was given to Vasudeva. And Vasudeva himself gave it to Lord Krishna. And Bhagavan Krishna himself worshipped this idol. And when Dwaraka went into water, when Bhagavan departed from this world, he instructed Uddhava to install this idol in a beautiful place. And Uddhava instructed Vayu and Guru, Brihaspati and Vayu Devata to find a place and install the idol. And along the Arabian Sea, you can see the coast, it must have floated. And Vayu Devata helped to float to the right direction and came to Kerala. Kerala is called Parashurama Kshetra. Lord Parashurama has created Kerala. And that is another story. Now I'm not going to get into that. So Vayu and Guru and Vayu, both of them found Kerala is the ideal place. And they installed this idol. And that is later on known as Guruvayur. Now there are so many stories are there. I will be telling you those stories, what happened in the temple. And there is another interpretation I read about Guruvayur. Guru means heavy. Vayu means wind. So this idol has some power that even though Guruvayur temple is very close to the ocean, no tornado or heavy wind come and destroy the place. Even if there is a big guru in heavy wind coming, heavy tornado comes, this idol has the capacity to drift it, shift it. So Guruvayur never experienced any tornado or hurricane, nothing, because of this power of this idol, seems I read somewhere. I thought I'll share with you. So in Guruvayur, there are the Bhagavan Krishna, Balakrishna is a Sankalpa, and he is alive. He is not just an idol, he is very much alive. And this is experienced by the devotees who go there. And there are so many stories about the presence of Bhagavan in the temple. I'm not getting into those stories now, then I will not be able to start the Narayaniyam. Now, the It is said that in Mahabharata, the story Janamejaya, King Parikshit, son was Janamejaya, and to Janamejaya, Vaishambhayana is narrating the story of Mahabharata. And King Janamejaya heard that his father was bitten by Takshaka because of the curse. He accepted that, but then he heard another story that when Takshaka was coming to kill Parikshit, at that time, along with him, there was a Brahmana was also coming. So he asked, Takshaka was disguised as a Brahmana. So he asked other Brahmana, hey, where are you going? So Brahmana said, I am going to see Parikshit Maharaj. Why? I heard Takshaka is coming to kill him. Oh, so then what are you going to do? That I will remove the poison. I have the mantra shakti. I will cure him. You have that much of power? Yes. So, okay, let me see. So Takshaka immediately, there was a tree, banyan tree. He struck the banyan tree. The banyan tree burned into ashes because of the power of his poison. When Brahmana did not budge, he took out some water from his kamandalu and chanted some mantras and sprinkled the water. Immediately the tree came back to life. And when he saw that, this Takshaka was impressed and he said, what will you get if you revive Parikshit? King will be pleased and he will reward me with sort of wealth. Then Takshaka said, for wealth you don't have to go there. I will give you wealth. And he said, I will double that. Whatever that king gives, I will give you double. So he rewarded him with a lot of wealth. Ramana was happy, he went back. This story he heard, Janamejaya heard, and he was very angry with Takshaka. Because you are coming and biting, that is okay. That is because of the guide, directed by the curse. But somebody is coming to cure my father. Why did you stop him? That is not correct. So he started doing a sarpayatnya. And he invoked all the called ritviks. It is a tantric style of yajna. He invoked all the sarpas and started offering them ahuti. Finally, he wanted to call Takshaka and offer him as ahuti. Takshaka hid in the behind the Indra Devata and pleaded with Indra Devata, please save me. And Janamejaya said, the whom I want to sacrifice, he is not coming. What happened? He asked the Ritviks. Those days, those Ritviks had a lot of power. And they looked at, they found out that this Takshaka is hiding behind Indra Devata. So he said, Janamejaya said, bring both of them. So with Mantra Shakti, both of them were brought to the Yajnashala. And they were about to be offered into the fire. At that time, Brahmadev appeared and advised Janamejaya, my child, don't do this. If your father wanted to be alive, he could have been alive with the blessings of Shuka Maharshi, but he did not want to keep the body. He attained mukti. That is what he wanted. So for this, why are you killing innocent creatures? Don't do that. So he stopped the yajna. But Takshaka was angry. Before leaving, Takshaka cursed the Raja, Janamejaya. And Sarpashapam is in the form of Kuksharogam, leprosy. He was affected with leprosy and he had no cure. And one Brahmana traveling, he came to the king and said, there is a temple, Guruvayur temple, you go and do bhajana there for 41 days, you get cured. So Raja had no other choice. He went there with his wife and he stayed there 41 days. And he was totally cured. And afterwards, pleased with this, Janamejaya built the first temple, the Garbhagriha and the Sri Kovil for Bhagavan. And afterwards, it's built up many. It has become a very big temple now. But this was the first one built by Janamejaya. Then Bhagavan Shankaracharya himself, traveling in the air, Bhagavan brought him down and he was the one who gave the Udayastamana Puja from morning till night. What are the ritual to be performed, etc. He was the one who stipulated. And this is Guruvayur temple. Now, Bhattathiri, the one who wrote Narayaniyam, he was born 1560 AD. Velpattur Narayana Bhattathiri is his name, Velpattur Illam. And he learned Shastras from his father and brother. And early age, he has studied the scriptures. And when he met this one Pisharadi, Pisharadi means they are the one who Ambalavasis, we say. They are the one who take care of flowers, cleaning the temple, making Naivedyam, and preparing for the puja, preparation for the puja, all the preparation for the puja, etc. They do it. Nambudiri will come and perform the puja. But all the preparations were done by these people. There are a class of people in Kerala, they're called Ambalavasis. And in that category, there was one, they're called Pisharadi. So Achyuta Pisharadi was his name. He was a great scholar. And he was a grammarian also, and astrologer also. And one day, this Velpattur Narayana Bhattathiri happened to see this Achyuta Pisharadi's niece. And she was very beautiful. So Narayana Bhattathiri fell in love with her and he wanted to marry her. And Pisharadi agreed and they got married. Then after marriage, he became very indulged indulgence and forgot about everything, even snanam, even taking care of Sandhyavandanam, etc. All of them he forgot, neglected. so much enjoyed in the pleasures. So he was living with Pishardi's house only. So one day, Pishardi used to teach this astrology and this grammar, Sanskrit grammar to children. So one day he was teaching in the morning, and this Bhattathiri got up and he had to go to the washroom, it seems. So there was only one way to go. Those days they did not have this attached bathroom and all that. So, they had to go through some corridor. And that is where these people were teaching. So he had to jump across. He jumped across those children sitting there. And seeing that, this Pishardi felt very bad. And he said, Magnam Mahamohamaye Mahabdo Mandam Mahatman Mamata Kulena Kripapayodhe Manasodharamam Krittong Dubam Jnanamayam Prabannam. He said, you are born in a Brahmana family, Brahmana's family, and studied and educated. It is so sad that you are wasting your time like this. Bhaktam Mahamohamaya. Mahamoha. It is great delusion you are involved. And this hit, when he heard this, it really hit Narayana Bhattathiri. And immediately he took bath and came back and sat in front of his guru and said, please teach me. And Achyuta Pishardi taught him Sanskritam grammar, all Paniniya grammar. He taught him. And he was very fond of his guru. And it became a turning point in his life. He changed his habits. And one day what happened, Achyuta Pishardi was struck with this disease, Vatarogam, paralysis. He was not able to move. And Achyuta Pishardi, being a great astrologer, he also knew what is to be done, remedy. So he saw, in Kerala, there is a style called Prasnam. Prasnam means ask question. So astrology also, they ask questions and the answer comes. And he got an answer saying that if you can transfer this disease, offer this disease to someone who is qualified, especially a Brahmana. And they could not find anybody. But when Bhattathiri heard this, he was very happy to take this disease. And there is a ritual for it. Ritualistically, it was transferred to Bhattathiri, Narayana Bhattathiri. And there is an incident also for that. When Bhattathiri was lying down, he composed a verse. Kaye Sidati Kandharodi Nigafe Kunde Javani Pate Jihvayam Drishi Jivite Jigamishe Shwase Shanai Shyamati Chamati Agatya Swayameva Nakarunayam Katyayani Kamuka karne varnayatat bhavarnavabhayat uddharakam. Only that much he could say, because he was lying down, actually in the deathbed. At that time, kaye svisate kandaroti nigape kunteja vanipate. This throat is filled with phlegm, and I am not able to say your name, O Lord, Vanipate. Ikvayam jivide jigamishe shwase shani shyamati. And I can't breathe also properly. Agatya swayameva na karunaya katyayini kamuhaha. Now please come. I cannot reach you. I cannot find you. So therefore, may you come to me. And it is said in Kashi, if you go, if you die, Bhagavan himself come and whisper the Bhagavan Nama in your ears. So that is what he says. Karne varnayatat bhavarnavabhayat uddharakam. So please whisper in my ears. So up to that only you could say, and this much heard, Narayana Bhattathiri came and completed the verse, saying that uddharakam tarakam, and whisper in my ears the mantra, Taraka mantra. Taraka mantra is Rama mantra or Omkara mantra also, both. So this uddharakam tarakam. And as ritualistically this disease was transferred, but the Pisharadi was okay after some time. Then Bhattathiri got this Vatarogam, and it was believed that time, if you have any problem like this, you should go to Guruvayur temple and stay there 41 days, taking the prasadam from there as your food. And with the help of his brother, younger brother, Bhattathiri went to Guruvayur, and he didn't know what to do there. So at that time, there was a great scholar and writer and a visionary. His name was Tunjat Ezhuthachan. He was the one, we call it as father of Malayalam language. And he was the one who wrote Ramayanam, Mahabharatam, Bhagavatam, all of them in Malayalam language. And Bhattathiri was very fond of him. So he sent word to him, requesting him, I am here in Guruvayur. I don't know what to start, how to start. Then he advised him jokingly. He said, start with fish. No. When that messenger heard this, he was very hesitant to tell Bhattathiri. Bhattathiri is a Brahmana, he never take fish. And again, he insisted, what did he tell? Tell me. So finally he said, he asked you to start with fish. Oh, he understood immediately. He is instructing me to narrate Bhagavan's story, all avatara starting with Matsya Avatara. Thus he got an idea, and then sitting there in the mandapam in front of Guruvayur temple, in front of the idol, actually, very close to the idol. There was a mandapam. Even today you can go and see that place marked. That is where he sat. And looking at Bhagavan's idol, Krishna, for him, he was alive. He composed 10 verses every day. And this is a abridged version of Bhagavatam. Bhagavatam has got 18,000 verses. And 18,000 verses, he summarized it as 1,036 verses. So in 100 days' time, he completed his work. And the 100th dasakam, you will see here, darshan of Bhagavan. Lord Krishna himself appeared before him, and that you can see is Varnana, Keshadipada Varnana. As he saw Krishna, he described Agre Pashyami Tejo Nibidadarakalaya Vali Lobaniyam. So it's such a beautiful verses came out of him. And you can see in Bhattathiri, Bhakti and Jnanam both together. It is a rare privilege that we can read and understand these verses come out of such a great bhakta. And the language is poetical, very literary language. It is not ordinary Sanskrit. So we need a lot of help. So using that commentary written by S.L. Shastri, IRS, retired. Our Gurudev also written a foreword. And why it is called Narayaniyam? One meaning it is story of Bhagavan Narayana, number one. Another thing is the one who wrote, whose name is also Narayana. Therefore, both way it is Narayaniyam. Now let us start with this background. Let us start the first verse. Who is chanting?
Krishno rakshatu mam charachara guruhu Krishnam namaste sada Krishne naiva surakshito hamasakrita Krishnaya dhattam manaha Krishna deva samudbhavo mama vibhoho Krishnasya dasosmyaham Krishne bhakti rasanchalastu bhagavan He Krishna tubhyam namaha Sandranandavabodhatmakam anupamitam Kaladeshavadibhyam Nirmuktam nityamuktam Nigamashata sahasrena nirbhasyamanam Aspashtam drishtamatre Punaruru purusharthatmakam brahma tattvam Tattavadbhati sakshat Guru pavanapure Hantabhagyam jananam.
This verse is in comparison with the first verse in Bhagavatam. The first verse in Bhagavatam is very beautiful. Janmadhyasya yatonvayati taratashchatesha vitneswarat tene brahma hridaya adigavaye muhyanti yatsurayah tejo varimridam yatha vinimayo yatra trisargo mrisha Namna svena sada nirasta kuhakam satyam param dhimahi. This verse is in comparison to this verse that Bhattathiri has faithfully followed Bhagavatam. That is what it says. So Sandranandava Bodhatmakam Anupamitam Kaladeshavadibhyam Narmuktam Nityamuktam Nigama Shata Sahasrena Nirbhasyamanam Aspashtam Drishtamatre Punaruru Purusharthatmakam Brahmatattvam Tattavatthati Sakshat Guru Pavanapure Hanta Bhagyam Jananam. Bhattathiri says he uses Nirguna Brahma and Saguna Brahma both here in this verse. Nirguna is Satyam Jnanam Sandranandava Bodhatmakam, an embodiment of bliss and pure consciousness. Satchidananda embodied. This Vigraham that you see in front of you is not just a Vigraham of stone. It is that Satchidananda Swarupa is in an embodied form. Chandranandava Bodhatmakam Anupamitam Yat Brahma, that which is Brahman, whose nature is Satchidananda Swarupa. That Satchidananda Swarupa is standing in front of you. It is not a stone. It is not just an idol. It is that Satchidananda Swarupa is standing in front of you. Tattvam Anupamitam. Tattva means here real, which is real. It is not just an idol. It is real Satchidananda. And Anupamitam, no comparison. It cannot be compared with any. So Sajatiya, Vijatiya, Sugada Beda Rahitam Vastu is Bhagavan. Sajatiya, Vijatiya, Sajati means same species. Vijatiya means different species. Sugadam, within one person also there are differences. Sugada Bedam. None of these differences are there in Bhagavan. He is beyond all these differences. So that is Anupamitam. Kaladeshavadibhyam Nirmuktam. Totally free from the limitation of time and space. That is the nature of Brahman. And Nigama Shata Sahasrena Nirbhasyamanam. And this Brahman is described in detail by Nigama Shata Sahasrena, hundreds and thousands of Vedic statements giving details of description about this Brahman. Even then, Nirbhasyamanam, even then it is not clear. So, even then, so many scriptures are written about it. So many scriptures are pointing towards it. And most of the teachers are talking about it. But still, it seems it is not very clear. The Bhasyamanam, with the difficulty, they expound it. Or it cannot be clear also. But Punaruru Purusharthatmakam Drishtamatre Punaha Uru Purusharthatmakam Brahmatattvam. That Brahmatattvam, when Drishtamatre. So as a result of your exercising your Purushartha, that is, there are fourfold attainments of human life, human being: Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. Moksha is the ultimate Purushartha. So, as a result of applying or making use of that Purushartha, you attain Moksha, means Drishtamatre, you attain Moksha, means you see, you experience. You come to know, you recognize, you own it. Once you own this truth, Brahman, that is your own self, Aham Brahmasmi, once you own it, Then what happened? Spashtam, Ishtamatre Punaha, then all become very clear. Even though you study the scriptures, listen to scriptures from Mahatmas, it may not be clear until you know it, until you realize it. So once you realize it, all doubt will disappear. Ramatre Puna. Then liberate. Nitya Mukta means liberated perpetually. You will be perpetually liberated from the grip of Maya. Tat tavat bhati sakshat. That and that alone shines right in front of your eyes. That Brahman which you realize as your own self, Satchidananda Swarupa, incomparable truth, Brahman. That Brahman is shining in front of you. Urupavanapure Anta Bhagyam Jananam. In this shrine of Guruvayur temple, and Anta Bhagyam, Bhattathiri says, it is wonderful indeed, is the fortune of mankind. It is fortunate that we are able to experience that Brahma Sukham. And if you stand in front of that idol for 1 minute, 2 minutes, if you get it, if the volunteers are not pushing you away, if you are able to stand in front of it, Bhagavan, you can experience that Brahma Sukham. Like you all go to Tirupati Venkateshwara, and you stand in front of that idol, you'll see that experience. Same way in Guruvayur temple also, you stand, if you are lucky, if you can stand there little bit, then you can feel his presence. There was a Meshanti, the one who does puja. There are Meshantis and then assistants and all that there. There are so many priests are there involved in the puja. One day this Meshanti, when he was removing the clothes, something was stuck Bhagavan's cheeks. So he wanted to remove it. So he rubbed with the cloth, it was not going. Then he scraped it with some iron piece. And then he said, then he dressed him up and all that. And after puja is over, this Nambudiri went to his room for resting. Suddenly his cheek started burning. And then he got a doctor to apply some ointment and all that to him. And it was painful to him. And with that pain, he went to sleep. And Bhagavan Krishna came in the dream and said, you thought I am a stone? I am also alive. If you scratch me, how you feel? When you got a boil there on your cheek, how you feel painful? Same way, I also feel painful. So see, this is an indication that it is not an idol, it is real Krishna is standing there. Continuing.
Evam durlabhya vastunyaphi sulabhataya hastalabde yadanyat tanva vacha dhiya va bhajati bata janaha kshudrataiva sphuteyam no ete tavadvayam tu sthiratar manasa vishvapida pahatyai Nisheshatmanamenam Guru Pavanapura धीशमेवाश्रयामः
एवं दुर्लभ्य वस्तुन्यपि सुलभतया हस्तलब्धे यदन्यत् तन्वा वाचा धिया वा भजति भजन क्षुद्रतैव स्फुटेयम् एते तावद्द्वयं तु स्थिरतरमनसा विश्वपीडापहत्यै निःशेषात्मानमेनं गुरुपवनपुराधीशमेवाश्रयामः. If you know little Sanskrit, then you can appreciate the choice of words. Beautiful composition. Evam durlabhya vastu ni. So this is very rare to get. This object, this Bhagavan, it is very difficult to get, very rare to get. Durlabhya vastuni. Hastalabde sulabhadaya. And that Durlabhya vastu, that is what Brahman is made very easily available to you. Is made available at hand with considerable ease. Astalabde sulabhadaya. Api janaha bhajati. Even then, man pursues. Anyat tanva vacha dhiya va anyat. With his body, words, and mind, they pursue worldly objects. Anyat has got so many meanings. Worldly object is one thing, but to different deities, because he is a Vaishnava, so he says different deities. Or yogas, scriptures, and other works, that also can be the meaning of anyat. Iti yat, such a thing to happen, yam spashta kshudrata eva. This is but base nature indeed. So even when Bhagavan is present there, and it is easily available. So there are three things it is said, three or four items. It is said to be very rare. Manushya Janmam, Bhakti Yogaha, path of devotion, and Bhagavata Puranam. So one rare object is Brahman, and another rare object is Manushya Janmam. Third one is Bhakti. Fourth one is Srimad Bhagavata Mahapuranam. These four things are very rare. So that very rare Durlabhya Vastu Sulabhadaya Hastalabde Yadanyade. And you have got it easily. Where? In Guruvayur. Very easily. You have to make a pilgrimage there. That is all. And nowadays it is very easy to go in a car and stay in a hotel there. So many hotels are there, or Chatram also there. Stay there and go early morning, and standing in line also not difficult now. If you go on a weekdays, you will be able to see easily. If you go weekend, it will be too much crowd. Weekdays like Tuesday, Wednesday, and then you go, it will be easy. You can go and have darshan of Bhagavan. So, even though those things are durlabham, Brahman is durlabham, you have to meditate on Nirguna Brahma, etc. It's very difficult. But here, that Brahman is readily made available to you. Sulabhadaya astalabde, like Karatala Malakam. It is so easily available. And if that is the case, why are you? Bhattathiri is asking, Why are you pursuing all other things? Why are you wasting your time doing that and this? Even in Guruvayur itself, people will get distracted, so many things. Recently, they built a cinema theater also there. Instead of Bhagavan, going and seeing Bhagavan and enjoying his company, people go and watch TV. It is, alas, it is base thinking. It is that Shudrata eva. Yam spashta Shudrata eva. This is what very base nature indeed. Lower nature. Shame on you. That is what te, tu te, vayam tavat. But here, we on our part. But I am not like that, he says. But he says, I am different. What is that part? Stiratara manasa ashrayamaha. With a firmly focused mind, do seek refuge in this God who is shining effulgently in front of me. Gurupavanapurādīsameva, Lord Guruvayurappan alone, who is Nisheshatmanam Vishwapītāpahatteihi, who is immanent, the indweller of all being. Nisheshatmanam Vishwapītāpahatteihi, the one who removes all suffering of the entire creation, entire world, Vishwapīta. It is not that individual Pīda here, it is the Pīda of everyone's suffering. He is the one capable of removing that. Bhagavan, I am concentrating. So, the Stiratara manasa Vishwapīda bhagatye. Stiratara manasa, with firm resolve. So here it resembles the verse in Bhagavatam, book 1, chapter 1, Srimad Bhagavatam, the third sloka, I think, yes, third sloka of Bhagavatam. Nikama kalpadaror gelitam phalam sukhamughat amrutadrava samyutam vipata bhagavatam rasamalayam muraho rasika bhuvi bhavuka. O ye devotees possessing a taste for divine joy, Srimad Bhagavatam is the fruit of the wish-yielding tree of Vedas, dropped on earth from the mouth of the parrot like Shuka, and is full of nectar of supreme bliss. It is unmixed sweetness. Go on drinking this divine nectar again and again. So that is what the idea here also. So I am too. So I am. Vayam tu ashrayamaha Gurupavanapuradīsamenam eva tanva vacha nisheshatmanam dhiya tiradara manasa Vishwapītāpahatteihi. We, on the other hand, continue to worship Ashrayamaha, the Lord of Guruvayur. That Lord present in this book, Srimad Bhagavatam, Gurupavanapuradīsam enam eva. Tanva vacha version meaning Narayaniyam, which is the quintessence of all the 18,000 slokas of Srimad Bhagavatam, taking into account all the 10 attributes of Puranam without leaving anything behind. Nisheshatmanam, authored by a very competent person. Dhiya stiratara manasa. So thereby giving us the indication that Narayanam is nothing but an epitome of Srimad Bhagavatam. Why it is done? The answer is Vishwapidabhatyai, meaning for the sake of eradication of the suffering of the entire universe, both mental and physical. So this is a sankalpa that you have to write. Olden days also, you have to write the purpose of writing the book. So here Bhattathiri says, I am writing this for Vishwapidabhatyai, for the eradication of suffering from the whole creation world. Okay, let us read the third one also.
Sattvam yattat parabhyam aparikalanato nirmalam tena tavat bhutair bhutendriyaiste vapuriti bahushaha shruyate vyasavakyam tatsvachatvat yadachadita parasukha chidgarbham bhasarupam tasmin dhanyaramante shrutimati madhure sugrahe vigrahe te.
Vyasavakyam shruyate. The words of sage Vyasa are being heard. Bahushaha te vapuhu iti. Many times that your divine image is constitute of bhutendriyahi yad, 5 elements and the 11 organs. Tena tavat bhutaihi, which originated from tat sattvam nirmalam, that pure sattva, which is pristine purity. Aparikalanataha parabhyam, being unmixed with the other two, rajas and tamas. Tasmin vigrahe te yat, in that image of yours, the form of which is achadita parasuka chit garbha nirbhasa rupam, extremely effulgent, having the supreme consciousness, bliss, underlying within, which is unobstructed. Tat suchatvad, because of its sattvam, pristine beauty, purity, and which is shrutimati madhure sugrahe dhanya ramante, all sweetness to the ears and the mind, and easy to grasp, the blessed devotees do revel. So, Bhagavan's form, when he took avatara as Bhagavan Krishna, so Vyasavakyam means here Bhagavadavakyam. So, according to Bhagavatam, Bhagavan Krishna's form is pure sattva. And since it is pure sattva, that consciousness, Brahma Tattvam, is very clearly expressed without any obstacles, rajas and tamas, without interfering rajas and tamas. Purity of sattva is the one that reveals Brahma Tattvam. It is purely revealing. There is no Maya's interference. Sattva, rajas, tamo gunas. Sattva guna means purity, rajas means activity, tamas means indolence, inertia, etc. So that is your nature. You are Brahman personified. And that Brahman is what is in front of me as Guruvayur Krishna. Now, after establishing the purely sattvic nature of the divine image, Bhattathiri now goes to show its identity with the unmanifested absolute Brahman. That is the next verse. I think we will see that in our next class. Today it is enough. You can chant one more time, Sandrananda Vabodhatmagamanupamita.
Sandranandavabodhatmakam anupamitam kaladeshavadibhyam nirmuktam nityamuktam nigamashatasahasrena nirbhasyamanam aspashtam drishtamatre punarurupurusharthatmakam brahma tattvam tattavadbhati sakshat Guru Pavanapure Hantabhagyam Jananam.
Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.